Russian Colonel General, everything ready for alien colonization. April 11, 2017. Edmondo, Burr. Russian Colonel General Skryabin says aliens are here and have been for a while and have evil plans for humanity in 2017. Skryabin claims he had private communications with aliens and personally saw President Mikhail Gorbachev and Yeltsin meet with the extraterrestrials. He warns of imminent alien invasion of the whole planet, as the extraterrestrial beings are already here and have held humanity hostage without their knowledge, but with cooperation from their leaders. In an interview, Colonel General Russian Air Force retired Alexander S. Skryabin says our leaders have sold humanity down the river to aliens and everything is now ready for colonization of Earth. Main Republic email alert reports. This interview was given to a newspaper of Czech Republic and published in its website. However, in 2 days this interview was deleted from everywhere. The Russian general said that this will be the last election in Russia and everywhere, and we approach a time when our world will be as a concentration camp since 2017. This Russian general personally communicated with extraterrestrials. He was sent underground to have training with them. He said that this was a terrible experience. The general said that humanity was sold to the satanic extraterrestrials by our presidents and our corrupted governments. The Russian general said, "True. I am telling you, all of us have sold our own rulers. There has always been the norm, as they could abduct people for their own purposes and their targets, though it is hidden even from us, but I still know brutal. They butchered the meat and continue to butcher people. Conduct experiments bullied. They also invented the cult of Satanism. In fact, is the servants dynasty aliens eating mostly cattle and people, sometimes only power of death, that is the souls of the victims." Russian Colonel General. This shocking statement made by Colonel General Russian Air Force retired Alexander S. Skryabin in an interview for the Czech newspaper Lidové Noviny, July 26, 2016. July 28. This interview has been completely removed from the site of the newspaper, and all the other resources that are currently managed to publish this interview are also eliminated. There were people who did not believe his eyes when he saw a headline did print screen page. And apparently for good reason. And the insider information was received today that the newspaper had time to even print a full print run of this interview, and they had to destroy the whole edition. This whole situation leads to a terrible thought that Skryabin told the truth. It turns out that this has already happened in 2004, when the editor has started an article entitled Russia, Books Behind Bars, the Czech Roscoe Nizem, IME, which stated that the Russian apartment bombings in September 1999 were organized by the FSB. Then the situation has affected the Russian embassy in the Czech Republic, published an open letter addressed to the chief editor of the newspaper Lidové Noviny V. Vachkova. Now, apparently, on Vachkov influenced quietly. Part of an interview with Skryabin. Alexander S. You are known as not only an experienced military commander of the USSR and Russia, which is completely dedicated themselves to the service of Russia, but also as a good analyst, and maybe even a little scientist. What are your predictions for the near future, and for Russia, and for Europe? The world seems a little bit crazy. Yes, really mad. I am 73 years old and I've seen a lot. I cannot keep silent any longer. I cannot sleep, I cannot walk the streets and see idly strolling young people who have no idea what is actually happening in the country and in the world. I am sick of watching television, reading the newspaper. Everywhere a pack of lies. I was unbearably painful for the younger generation, so much so that the heart is about to stop. Nobody knows the truth. World discusses the elections in the United States. Conflicts in Turkey and other countries, in Russia, even your choices do not discuss. We generally all concerned where cheaper to go to rest. But this election is the last of all. For all, again. There will be no more of this world, which we will see this summer. all will soon dramatically change. People for many decades are led by the nose. You live in a different reality. Humanity is on the verge of death. We look to the capture of the respiratory films about aliens attack the planet, colonizing people come out of the theater and live on. But you do not just show. This is in fact true. I recently watched a film about the attack of the aliens, and was surprised how well the director has given the truth, and you look like a fairy tale. Military first know that aliens are not fiction, but a cruel and sad reality. All sign non-disclosure papers. Who controls the Oberon service think? US same porn. I remember the first time I was faced with this, I was so horrified a few months. When we were warned that in the next month we will train at the base and they will be there. We were instructed to prepare the meeting. We signed the papers on non-disclosure of state secrets. And then we, the boys in uniform, it was said only 20 years from now in a society begins to leak information about them will be careful to handle the population, to cook movies, stories in newspapers. Then there will be those who will explore this topic and will themselves have to publish information. All we made according to plan. Now I can only say how disgusting it was to see them. All these years I feel an empty space on his own planet, and they here own us. Presidents of countries, all of them run errands. And most importantly, that they fulfill the agreement. They have long since passed as a recycled material. Those who will go on to be a labor for them. And how long ago it all started? Back in the Soviet times, when the General Staff acted top secret military unit number 10,003 dealing with Psi War. He oversaw its Prime Minister Valentin Pavlov, the Soviet Union, and led by Lieutenant General Alexei Savin. These were military extrasensi. What tasks do not just put before this part? In June 1991, an order came from his superiors to fly to Uzbekistan, receive aliens. And these orders we have received a lot of years since the 70th. Sometimes these stories published in the media. People were laughing, and we were in a depression for power offensively. There was also a Colonel Ivan Pavlovich Nazenko, chairman of the Scientific and Technical Committee of Air Defense Forces of the USSR. He often organized their arrival in the territory of the USSR. To no one I saw not noticed. A favorite place was Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and those edges. And you've seen how presidents communicate with them. Yes, several times I have personally seen how Gorbachev met with them, and then once Yeltsin. Are they, really, like in the movies, kidnapped people and then people do not remember? True. I am telling you, all of us have sold our own rulers. There has always been the norm, as they could abduct people for their own purposes. And their targets, though it is hidden even from us, but I still know brutal. They butcher the meat and continue to butcher people. Conduct experiments bullied. They also invented the cult of Satanism. In fact, is the servants dynasty aliens eating mostly cattle and people, sometimes only power of death, that is the souls of the victims. Why Uzbekistan and that region? I've also just recently read that there has always been, and still there is increased activity of UFOs. People often encounter aliens. There's a lot of gold and uranium. They take it yourself. We have in fact gold in the world and not in the back. There are no storage facilities. They are all given. I do not know why. Remember the scandal with the American podolinum gold that China has revealed? And all of that gold in global reserves available, virtually none. Even at banks, when you buy it on your hands is not given, is just a virtual, that is the money for it. What do we expect in the near future? You say that the end will come around soon. Their goal, the colonization of the planet. Governments are perfectly prepared for all this. Russia, one, did not have time, and now is catching up rapidly. We've never taken so many laws at such a rate. And look, they are mostly punitive and controlling character. Our people do not understand and do not see why. It makes me even sicker. A TV and special units treated with the people of the brain so that even if the alien is now alive will come to the area and will be dancing. It is very few people have touch. Firstly, for many years the processing and implementation, they will be the main thing here, and secondly, people are emotionally exhausted, psyche left to shock and resist. This technology is also all the presidents have been trained and more security services and the military brought them to life. This election really last. More choices will be. Although it was only a parody of the election. Even Wang predicted that the 44th President of the United States is black, and it will be the last country. And Wang, as we know, was a great psychic and practically wrong. From 2017 to begin another time for the whole planet, the time of the camp. But what we can still do to prevent their plans. Find the force that is commensurate with them. And this is also an alien, but a spiritual orientation. Only they do not go on contact too low. We have fallen, they are harmful to such a dirty thing to have energy. They look like a law of free will we use. After all, we the masters of the planet, we have to order it and put things they can help only if we turn. How to apply? As always, in his own words. Lord, help me does not help. It is necessary to know the exact address. In the old days they turned towards the sun. And now there are suggestions that there is a hollow space, and live the higher civilization. I think sooner easier contact with them was people were able to trust, communicate with them and bowed respectfully. And now all rejected, do not believe anything. That it and sought unwelcome aliens. So far everything is going according to plan. Pandora Open. True web link.